Hello and welcome to yet another SiGNAL Radio. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hello people and welcome to SiGNAL Radio. How are you doing? How's it going? Hear the jingle? Hear the jingle? And we're out of the jingle. We're officially started. So what have we been doing this morning, Mr. G?
Oh gosh, well we've had a busy morning. We've just come from, and I think this may be the first ever Zoom coffee morning. Yes.
Ever in the world or for SiGNAL?
Ever in the world. Ever in the world, I think. Never has it been done before.
No, we had nearly 30 people there. It was amazing.
Yes, yeah, no, it was fantastic. Yeah, one thing I will say, sorry to everyone that got kicked out of the meeting. Turns out you can't have a Zoom meeting and a Zoom webinar running at the same time. So unfortunately, you were all kicked out to make way for radio.
So you saw the limit of our technical prowess. Yes. But you've all learned something this morning. You can't run a Zoom webinar and a Zoom meeting at the same time from the same account.
No, not possible.
That's the kind of service we give people at SiGNAL.
Always learning, always learning.
Always.
Always giving.
Always something. So how's your week been? Are you in lockdown still? Are you out of lockdown? I'm a bit lost actually.
Yes, I am. I'm very lost. Yeah, my week's been pretty normal to be honest. Nothing out of the ordinary. Went back to the SiGNAL building yesterday, so that was exciting.
Yeah.
Actually walking into the building after 3 months of not being there.
Yeah.
It was good. Apart from that, I think everything's kind of the same old, unfortunately.
I have to confess that my life hasn't really changed apart from going to SiGNAL for the hub and meetings. And I'm feeling like a bit of a sad sack, actually. I think I need to get out more. I think I need to get out more. So sudden realization that I actually have been socially isolating for quite some time. Hey ho.
Oh,
yeah, I know. Hey ho. So lots to do this week. Lots to do. The thing that I want to sort of raise, mention, and complain about is if there's anyone from Barclays Bank listening, it's the little things that really make a difference. I don't mind being on hold, even if it was an hour and a half hour and 50 minutes yesterday and an hour today. Don't mind that. Change your music.
Yeah.
The same piece of music that's about 20 seconds long for nearly 3 hours. I mean, that's against the UN Charter of Human Rights in some countries.
Hey, Stu, I agree with you. I was calling up another bank, shall remain nameless. 12 hours I was on the phone trying to get through to them.
12
hours.
What? Straight
through. Yeah, I called them first thing in the morning and it was just on hold and everything. I gave up after 12 hours.
That's your limit. 12 hours is your limit.
Yeah. I mean, that's quite some strong staying power, but it was the same, like, literally minute clip of music the whole time. Yeah. I could probably sing it to you perfectly.
Yeah, but Barclays sounds like it was recorded in the 1970s and given a bit of a remix in the 1980s. Those bankers, they're a shrewd lot. They don't want to spend money where they don't need to. Keep that same piece of music. Maybe it will get rid of people.
Maybe that's what it is. That's the plan.
Dear Lord. Another thing I want to raise, another little peeve, right? Is it me or is the standard of driving dropped? People needed the practice and they've got out of practice. They've got back in their cars and they just, it's not like riding a bike, people. You have to practice, like looking and listening and seeing.
Oh dear. We having a good morning, Stu?
I am. The trouble is I've drunk this much coffee.
Right. We're in for a great one, watchers.
We've got some great news coming up, I've got to say.
Lovely.
14th century proclamation by the King. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
But anyway, so today, who is our guest? Please do tell me. Introduce our guest.
So our guest is, I would class her as a hub veteran. She is the one and only, the butt kicker. It is Vanessa Lanham-Day.
Woo! Hello.
This is a veteran you. My hearing hasn't gone.
I was talking to a friend the other day, and we were talking about our experience, and he said, "Hey, we've got 100 years experience between us," and I was a bit put out by that. Technically, he's right, but I said to him, "Could you have 80% of that experience, and I'll just take the 20?"
Oh, it's
Feeling
It
old?
happens to everyone. It happens to everyone. Don't worry about it.
I'm not ready for the care home yet. Hello, Vanessa. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I've got this much coffee.
Oh, fantastic. So, if people don't know who they are, I mean, I don't know what rock they've crawled out from under, because I've known you for years as the marketing expert and business guru, bit of a catchphrase at the moment. How would you describe yourself?
I like to call myself a business growth inspirer and mentor. And I mean, it sounds a bit full of yourself, doesn't it? Inspire a bit. But I think it's one of those moments you have, and you kind of say, do you know, this is the stuff I'm really good at, and there's all sorts of stuff I'm really shit at. And according to my husband, that includes packing the dishwasher and anything to do with directions. And he's probably right. So it's kind of, do you know what? I know what I'm really good at, and what I know I'm good at is just helping people with ideas and inspiring them to go out and do some stuff. So, well, there's a time when you just kind of own it, and that's who I am, and not everybody gets me, and that's fine. But those that do, it seems I'm able to make a difference. So after all these years, that's when I settled with.
Whenever you come down to the hub, there's always a good crowd, and rightly so, because the information you always impart is gold. It really is. You know, people follow through on what you get them to do, and I guess that's a big part of it, you know, that implementation bit. But from all of your years of experience, what is your favorite thing, the favorite topic across all of the sort of sales and marketing stuff you do? What's the thing you like to get your teeth into in businesses?
I think it's getting people to go back to source, going back to the beginning, because you know, I remember how it was for me, and it was so in '88 I started. It was 32 years ago, and I remember. So I was coming out of a corporate job, and which I was thoroughly fed up with, and I had this vision of how it was going to be, and of course that vision got dismantled pretty quickly, and we was heading into the '90s recession. And it's so easy once you're into it that you get bogged down in the minutiae of how life really is that you forget why it all began. And I think helping people remember why they started and what the vision was, because often what they've achieved in the first couple of years is so remote from that. And if you can just get them to go, yes, I can still do that. What's happened so far does not define how it has to be. I can use all that knowledge and reconnect with why I began, and now go out and make that happen. And I have seen that happen countless times, and that is far and away the most exciting thing that I do. And that's why I like to mentor people now. The marketing stuff is still helpful, but I mean, if that's the difference I can make for people, to say it's okay, you can do this. Perhaps hasn't all gone perfectly so far, but use all that and let's go and do it now. And you are capable, and you just use that energy and that knowledge and make some stuff happen. That's great. I love that.
Yes, that the self-employment and running your own business, if you have a bad month, you can literally put it behind you and go, right, okay, where get back on track, where did we go wrong, learn those lessons, and hopefully not repeat those lessons. And with someone like yourself in their corner, they can much more clearly see the lesson.
The big thing is, and it's just when you get people to wake up to this, that they presume, because most people are actually quite bad at marketing and sales, they're really good at the thing they do. They're great as hairdressers or masseurs or computer technicians, but they're brilliant at that thing. But they're often not that great. They think being really great at what they do will be enough. Of course, as we all know, we've all been there. You discover relatively early on in the world of self-employment that being great at what you do isn't enough. You've got to be great at getting people to buy what you do, and most people aren't. And so after a period of, short period of time, they then believe their results are a reflection of how good they are. And of course, it's no reflection of how good they are. It just says they're not very good at marketing. They're still brilliant at what they did, but they're shit at marketing.
Yeah.
So if you learn how to do that bit, then you can go out and be that amazing thing that you are. But I think what people do is they go, well, their confidence goes, oh, well, I'm obviously not very good, nobody wants me. And so their expectations spiral down with that's all I can do. Well, it's not.
Yeah.
But you've just got to realise that just what you've been doing is probably wrong. And that's great, because now you've got a body of knowledge about what doesn't work.
I think I would echo that. So, working in SiGNAL and the Biz Hub, it's those light bulb moments that you see go on in people's businesses, that they suddenly get it, or they suddenly realise that actually this stuff isn't as tough as I may have thought it was. And I don't have to know all of the technical bits and pieces, because I can get somebody else to do those bits. But just as long as I know what I need to do to get people to pick up the phone and give me a call, I'll just do more of it. So that's really the most important thing. In all of your years, we won't harp on about all of those years, but what's the lesson that you wish you had learned before you'd started business? The one thing.
Oh, goodness me. I suppose it is about self-belief. It took me a long while to work out what it was I was really good at, and so I did allow those market forces to scare me, and I became quite nervous about things. I mean, I know that the one big lesson that I did, and if I didn't learn it, had learned it 6 months before, but is when a very, very dear friend, essentially said to me, no one's going to make this happen unless you do. Stop looking elsewhere for answers, because they ain't elsewhere, they're inside you. And whatever that solution is, you're the one that's going to find it. And I know just that moment, which was a very light-hearted discussion at a rehearsal one day of a play I was doing, and I know that changed everything for me. It was, you state the bloody obvious, but in that moment it made that difference. So yes, perhaps I wish I'd had that lesson a few months before, because I'd got myself into a right old pickle in terms of how I was feeling. And he changed everything. And as soon as I saw that I had the power to change things, then of course it all started to spiral up. So I think that's the thing I have to, it's stop looking elsewhere. It's nobody else's fault. Just, get on, do something, anything. But stop sitting there waiting for the market to make it happen. I mean, what we've just all been through, my God. I mean, I've been through 2 recessions and they went on longer. But I've never experienced anything like this before. None of us has. And some people have had terrible, terrible times. Others have actually done really well out of it. I wish we could change it. But again, individually, people said, right, what can I control here? What can I do? Terrible though it may be, what difference can I make? And they cracked on and did it. I guarantee they are getting better results now than the people who just sat back and had a good moan about it.
Yeah, this is it. You have to be proactive. You have to go. No one's going to do it for you. At the end of the day, you're the one that has to make that decision to do something, to do whatever. I completely agree.
Frustrated. I mean, we could talk lockdown haircuts here.
Yes. Yeah.
Gareth, I'm guessing there's clippers involved in yours. I don't know headphones there.
This is a Gareth Dad special haircut.
And so, Stuart, what's your strategy in the lockdown haircut been?
Let it run. Let it run free and wild.
You haven't got a top knot yet, have you?
Oh, God, no.
You may have noticed, because I've revealed a bit more silver than is ideal for a woman of my age. But I've done my own haircut, and I've done the sleeves as well. And there's some very good videos and stuff. But I'll let the world decide how well I did at it.
Well, I was going to ask the question, where have you got your hair done?
Yeah,
but you did it yourself, DIY.
Hairdressing scissors on Amazon, and there's some really, really good videos. But the thing that's really frustrated me, so I've been to my hairdresser, the same hairdresser, since 1985.
Wow.
They are really the most expensive hairdressers in Godalming. The guy who runs it and I are one day apart in our birthdays. We've got a really good relationship. I enjoy going there. I don't mind paying him these exorbitant fees because they are really good. So I know they've got all my details, because when they go, just add it to the system, or last time you went, they can tell what colours I have, what my contact details, and all that stuff. I haven't heard a single word from them since the lockdown began. We walked past the shop. There's no information on the door saying what to do. So when I get they've not been able to cut anyone's hair. I get that, although clearly lots have been illegally, but they haven't, and that's fine. But it's so easy to shift your loyalty to someone else. I may now have shifted my loyalty to my own scissors.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I was looking for a reason to change hairdresser, but hadn't got the courage to not book in. And this break has given me a perfect opportunity. If they'd have just emailed me and given me ideas, asked people for our lockdown haircut photos or our terrible stories or to share videos or something and created that, you know, a bit of fun, I get it's shit time for them, I get that. But as it stands, they have made no attempt to build loyalty or, you know, friendship with me. And so now I've been going there, but how long's that? 85? That's what, 35 years?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I do not understand that.
I think that's a key part of the high street. I really do think that the smaller retailers and businesses on the high street have a distinct advantage because they can bring that community feeling to belonging. Oh, I found this little kind of secret that I know and they know me, and it's all, you know, when it's a big corporate thing, it tends to be workers that are paid every month and they turn up and they don't really know the people who are the customers. Whereas when it's your business, you can make the time to find out what their dog's called and that.
I mean, the gym that I go to, I mean, honestly, they could not have done more. I mean, they've been doing workouts every single day by Zoom. They've got online things. They've coffee mornings. They've now starting to reopen. They're hoping 6th of July. So we're now getting, yesterday, there were 3 different videos showing all the new hand sanitizer stations. And here's the entrance. We're not going to show you the gym yet, so it has to change it all. You know, so building a bit of excitement. They've sent out a new handbook to us all to tell us how it's all going to work and what the protocols are about showers and crossovers and all that sort of stuff. And they're really sort of building up to something. Every Friday night they've had bingo, quizzes, people's daughters and stuff who are musicians have done a bit of a show. One of their trainers is a Sinatra style swing singer. He's had an evening of their stuff. But they've just done so many things. And I know over 50% of the members have carried on paying full fee.
Wow.
Because they asked them and they said, you know, help us. If you can, we really, if you can't, we understand and let's have a conversation. So they've come up with a half price if you can't maintain your membership version. But more than half of the people have maintained full membership to support them. I've
got a similar story with our cleaner. When lockdown happened, we got a phone call from them saying, obviously, we can't come into your house anymore. We will get in touch when we know what the picture is. And I said to them at that point, what are you doing for income? Because this is going to impact you. Can I set up a standing order to pay you at least 50%, and we'll deal with it when it comes down the road? Maybe you could do an extra clean or something, but just and they never sent their bank details. And I just felt like, you've been cleaning our house for the best part of 5 years. I don't want to see you out on the streets, and I'm sure you're not rolling in cash. How can I help you? And if I can help you by paying you at least 50% of the bi-weekly fee, and it helps you get through this, you'll be a cleaner for us for the next 5 years.
Because good cleans aren't easy to find.
No, they do a brilliant job. They come in 2 hours, the whole house, poof, done. Brilliant. Unbelievable.
It's frustrating, isn't it? Because you know, and without, you know, when I mean, I know it's been terrible, but you know there will be those people who go, well, you know, we went out of business, or it's terrible, or nobody understands. And you go, you just didn't draw on your own reserves. You somehow expected someone else to fix this for you. And there was no plan for this. None of us would have had a plan.
I think in some regards, people got distracted by the money side of it, because and that's a big part of business, don't get me wrong, you know, cash flow and all the rest of it, I get that. But they focused on that when they should have been focusing on their customers and the opportunity to engage and stay engaged with their target audience. And okay, if you don't have the finances to do that, that can seem really tough. But that's where small businesses can get really creative and ways to engage with a community.
You know, which is what I say, my gym people, that's all they've done. They've been furloughing their staff in rotation, so they've kept the guys kind of in front of the customers. They've had some really good fun stuff. But, I think it wasn't complicated what you needed to do, and there's lots of advice out there. But some people just decided, doom and gloom, end of, job done. And I guess there will always be people that that's how they see life.
Yeah. But there's lots of opportunities now coming out. Things are relaxing. People are starting to come out of lockdown and get their businesses back up and running. Any advice to anyone who's out there who's looking on and thinking to themselves, "Oh, I may have made a mistake not engaging with people"?
Well, I guess the answer is it's never too late, is it? Because we aren't out the other side. So start telling people how it's going to come back. Maybe do an offer to get them back through the door. Thank people for their support. Do something meaningful about what's been going on. Maybe show how it's affected your staff, or show some gratitude. There are just lots of things that make you human. And I think that's the big thing, isn't it? With small businesses, you are human. And I think just as you're worried for your cleaner, I think most of us who use a chiropractor or a hairdresser or whatever are anxious to say, "You guys okay? How's it been?" And if you share that humanity, so I think now, if you've not done it yet, start now. It is not too late. But don't just then bemoan the people who didn't come back.
Yeah. I think
it's not their fault.
We met through another organisation, and as the leader of that used to say, it's not your customers' duty to remember to do business with you. I think if you think about it around that way, you're like, oh yeah, I've got to keep reminding them I'm here, because there's loads of people out there trying to get their business.
And now more than ever, people's focus is being themselves, their safety, their family. It's been incredibly introspective time. So unless you do something to prod that little bubble and say, "Oi, what about us here? Can we contribute to your well-being and safety? Can we help that?" Then why would they think of you?
Yeah.
So we've only been thinking about ourselves, understandably. So there's still lots. I think don't be afraid to have a bit of fun with it. It's a serious situation, but humanity is multi-layered, and people love fun and they want to see.
Well, that's kind of why I started the radio idea. It was like, we can sit here and pump out business advice at SiGNAL. That's what we do, and people have an appetite for that. But sometimes you just need to have a bit of that office banter and a bit of laugh and a bit of kind of light-hearted kind of back and forth. And Gareth and I often do that when we're in the building. He gives me no quarter. He's not respectful of age or wisdom.
Nope, not in the slightest. It's fine, Stu. I think you've got lots of age and no wisdom.
He's got age in inverse. No.
Shut up.
Rude type. That's what I speaking for the seniors here.
No
respect
from the youngsters these days. None. God.
So what have you guys been doing DIY wise then? So I think the DIY industry's enjoyed a massive boom, hasn't it, recently?
Well, I've repainted my entire office, remodeled it, and I put in a green screen.
Oh, I see. I'm rather jealous. I want a backdrop.
Yeah, no, same. Lots of work to the garden, and so we've got hopefully some building work starting soon. As soon as I get.
I can't wait. Well, I think the charity shops have started opening, but they haven't all started accepting stuff, because literally our spare bathroom is almost to the ceiling with stuff we've cleared out.
Yeah, same.
You go to the tip and get rid of lots of stuff, but they won't do fabric yet. And so we haven't yet been to charity shops, but it would be really great to get rid of that lot. I tell you, there's barely an inch of our house that has been able to avoid our restructuring, shall we say. It's been a good time.
All of our charity stuff is under our table in our kitchen, so we haven't been able to sit around the table. And last week, Jem was sat there at her computer and she goes, "Can you smell that? There's a really off smell." And I was smelling it. I couldn't smell anything, and I thought it might have been the flower water or whatever it was. Anyway, she decided to go digging under the table and found a dead bird that one of the cats had brought in and secreted. Been there for a while. So yeah, I can't wait until the charity shop's open. We keep checking now. We keep checking every couple of days. Keep checking. So Sarah Bass has weighed in on the comments. She said, just get on and do it if you're a business.
Yeah,
just do it.
Sarah.
Good on, Sarah. Thank you. And Emma's saying it's senior banter. Thanks, Em. Nice. We're going to do the news now, Vanessa. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for chatting with us and telling us about you and what you've been up to. I've got to confess, our news isn't necessarily up to date.
Nope.
It's kind of a news review, and sometimes it's quite old, but I come across it and I thought I'll just get on with it and just share the advice, the news, and the stuff that I can find. So the Farnham Flower Festival returns for its second year, and it's going online on June the 27th to June the 28th. Oh, look, a future event. A future event.
I know, Stu, I'm almost taken back.
But you see, it's an online summer festival of flowers. Now that's fine, I get it, nice pictures of flowers, but flowers are much more than just pictures. They're the whole ambience, the smell, the scent, the thing. And this brings me to one of my pet peeves.
Okay.
Perfume sales on TV. I mean, seriously, the one thing that you can do with a perfume is smell it. And you can't on a TV. The genius.
You're missing the point there. You're missing the point because actually perfume's all about the image and the brand, and I think you'll find the smell is somewhat incidental to the whole thing. So
yeah, that's it.
I think you're essentially the wrong sex. So yeah, I just don't think we're quite getting there.
So one year, my uncle sent myself and my wife, my lovely wife, a present, and she opened her present first, and she pulled out this beautiful bottle of Jean Paul Gaultier for ladies perfume. Yeah, you know, the iconic bottle. I thought, can't wait to get into mine. Guess what mine was? Fly spray. Very funny, hilarious.
Good to know the sense of humour obviously runs in the family.
Oh yeah, there's no quarter given there, I can tell you. This one's I wanted to make a joke out of it, but it's a bit sad actually. Laura Ashley's to briefly reopen so that they can shut.
Oh.
For a closing down sale. So get yourself to Farnham, get yourself to Laura Ashley if you like that sort of thing.
So just the one in Farnham's closing down?
Yes, it's the one in Farnham. It's not all Laura Ashley's, okay? Just the one in Farnham. They're briefly reopening to have a closing down sale.
Right.
So
okay.
Somebody has created a giant matchstick Statue of Liberty in a village near us. I can't remember where it was. I haven't got it in my notes.
Really good. This is good. Stu.
But I'm going to put the link underneath when we publish this after the show. In fact, I'm going to put it into the comments right now because it's really impressive. When you hear that, you're a bit like, oh, okay, fair enough. But it's really impressive. It's massive. And she's taken the idea of a matchstick model and scaled up the matchstick so that it's pieces of lumber and built this. It's as tall as a house. It's amazing. You've got to see it. Definite. So that's somebody who's been busy during lockdown.
Yeah.
But I promised this up the front end. I promised this an announcement, a 14th century royal proclamation from King Edward II sent out banning the game of football because, and here is his reasoning, it was a distraction from the important task of prioritising archery practice, and the games could, and often did, lead to serious injury or breach of the peace. Nothing's changed.
No.
But that's a roundabout way of saying all you football and sport lovers, because I know that Gary of our workshop is a big footy fan and is pleased that the Premier League is back. So there you go, folks. The football is back. And it's been that way. It's been on and off since the 14th century. So plus ça change. But I'm going to finish on this one. This is a good news story, and I missed it on the way through initially, and I can't believe I did. But AGL Cars, shout going out to AGL Cars of Whitehill. I didn't realise this, but they were doing a free prescription collection and delivery service for all residents. Now, I don't know if they're still doing that, so don't phone them up and order your prescription through from them. You know, maybe you ask them first. But they did a collection and delivery service at the beginning of Countdown and kept it going for a while. So Mike Stevens of AGL Cars, hats off to you. Very community minded. Brings us full circle because we were talking about community at the start, talked about in the middle, we're at the end. That's us. That's it for SiGNAL Radio. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you for contributing. Thank you so much, Gareth, for keeping me in my place.
Of course, Stu.
And
Anytime.
thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you here this time next week for some crazy antics and stupid banter. Thanks very much.
See you later,
Bye-bye.